Hello, world. It's Jay Wandoe, and you have now entered the Doe Spot, where we have discussions of experiences, where we aim to deliver messages of empowerment. Feel welcome here as we speak the universal language of love, and always we show gratitude. And here today, I have a very, very, very special guest, businesswoman. Today, you see, I have my Air Force shirt on. She's a representative of the Air Force, Miss Tiffany Morrison. Miss Tiffany Morrison is going to break down her bio to you before we get started too much into the episode. The way we met is just so cool because it was her pushing her business and me looking for business. I was on a job hunt and she was marketing her business, which she'll tell you about later. And I didn't even really think about this right here being a business, but podcasting or any type of media is really a business. I have to run and operate it. I have to think about how I look to people, know what I'm selling. I'm the product right now. I'm selling me. I'm selling conversations. So when I met her and she was sharing everything with she and her partner, I was just like excited to see that someone out there that came from my, me being a vet, came from where I came from and made it happen. So I'll just say to you, Tiffany, thank you for inspiring me. And whether you knew you were doing that or not, it was very encouraging to see you up there. Hopefully the world, as they watch this, will see how great of a person you are. We had a conversation prior to this where we shared some information, some personal things. We're not going to share here today, but we definitely tapped in. Tiffany Morrison, everybody, thank you for coming on. And yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself as much as you need to, as much as you feel comfortable doing, and we'll just get started.
Well, thank you so very much. And that means a lot to me that you were inspired and you were, it's humbling.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's all good.
I can't really find the words for it, but it feels good knowing that I'm able to help other people, even if it's not directly with business, right? So I am retired Air Force. I retired as a Master Sergeant in E7 and retired out of Minot, North Dakota. Immediately moved to San Antonio, Texas.
Okay. You gotta get out of that cold weather, man. If y'all know where Minot is and know about Minot, yeah, that's not somewhere I put on my dream sheet.
No. So I took about a year off, just to kind of gain my footing and figure out what I really wanted to do. And I honestly thought I was going to turn around and get a GS job because my career field headquarters is right here in San Antonio.
Makes sense.
So I really thought that that was what I was going to do. And one day it just clicked for me that I didn't want to do it, hearing my husband talk about his job at the time, working as a manager of what we used to call the BDU Club
Oh yeah, I remember that.
on Lackland.
Okay.
So, and he's back with services, my career field. And it was his too. He was my sponsor at my first base.
Wow. I've seen those relationships, and if anybody's seeing this, watching this, y'all know I seen that happen. So
It just happened that way. There was like, I think he was the fifth person that they assigned to be my sponsor, but because of TDYs and emergency leave,
yeah,
and the holiday that I ended up coming in on, Veterans Day weekend. So he actually was asked to be my sponsor after I had already ranked on base. And they told him to just do what his sponsor did. And he told them, I don't know who my sponsor was.
yeah. All right.
They're like,
Who is
okay,
that?
well, just make sure she gets to the orderly room on Tuesday because the holiday.
Gotcha. He got you to the orderly room and to the some other rooms since then. So it worked out.
Yeah, we became friends very quickly and it progressed from there. Anyhow, he was working back in services and it just clicked that I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to keep trading time for money. I also, upon retiring, had told the kids that we were going to find a home
Hmm.
that we wouldn't have to move from until they were ready to move out, um, go to college and everything. And they didn't get to participate in sports because they had two working parents, and my schedule kept changing and my deployments, and my husband had a few of his own TDYs basically with his organization that was also federal employee, that we don't speak about, and he no longer works with them. But um, he is still in the government system now. Um, so still has to ask for that time off and coordinate leave and all of that sort of stuff. But the kids, I wanted to make sure that they were able to participate in all of the sports and activities that they wanted to, because they didn't get to do that on a consistent basis, not long enough to be on a team, except for the team when me and my husband were coaching basketball at the youth center. And my husband was able to continue that a little bit longer than I was, with the kids. And going back to work, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I would have to ask for the time to be at all the games. I didn't want that. So another friend of mine was retiring, and her husband were retiring, and she told me about this business, had me take a look, and I took a second look, and then I said, okay, who do you know making personally, who do you know making good money with this? She's like, too easy. My neighbor, who is now my mentor,
All right. That worked
very
out.
beautiful Mary Gail Harmon. She is my mentor, my coach right here in San Antonio, also retired Air Force.
Yeah,
Is
shout out to her. I met her. That she came with you, right? She was the one that was with you.
No,
Oh
my partner,
no, you were her mentor, the one that came with you that day, right? To the workshop.
mhm. I'm her, I'm her sponsor
Sponsor. Okay.
in the business, and I am also coaching her. Um, but I'm not a director yet, so I'm not full on mentor for her. Um, but yeah, I was her support that day, and with her being new, and that's the great thing about this business too, is you are in business for yourself. You're the owner, you make your hours, you do it how you want to do it, but you don't have to do it alone. You have built-in support, you have built-in success coach, and people that genuinely want to see you win. And that's kind of the vision of the founder, was to be able to let ordinary people live extraordinary lives
Gotcha.
and give other people a chance to collapse time frames, which
Mm,
you can't do in many other businesses, but collapse time frames and play catch up for those of us that weren't taught wealth building. We were taught budgeting.
Right.
We were told to invest, but they couldn't really tell us specifically how to do that. Um, so they taught us to have, I guess, financial independence, but not financial freedom. And I want the financial freedom. And like with my son's playing soccer, right? And he wanted to do soccer club. That costs money.
Oh yeah.
It is not cheap. Being a soccer
Any
mom is not cheap.
any extracurricular activities cost money. I mean, unless you're just
Yes,
painting or something, and which the paint costs money, the brushes cost money, the canvases cost money. I don't know. I can't think of anything that's just free outside of just, I mean, walking to the park and playing on equipment. Just gym, I guess. You can create your own gym
yeah, I
for
have
money.
that too, but
Yeah,
we have it, set up at home, but it's not the same.
right.
He is very bright and teaches himself a lot of things, um, which is something I did when I was younger as well, self-taught on a lot of things. And I honestly think it's due to undiagnosed ADHD, but
Well, that's something I think many of us need to get diagnosed, like at some point. Try to figure out, okay, do I have this, and what can I do to, or do I like it? Some people like ADHD. They like having ADD. They like, I mean, not that they like it, but it's part of their life. It's part of their makeup, and it works for them. And you
it's
don't
their
understand.
superpower.
Yeah, you're functioning in this space of chaos, but you get away with it because that's just part of your life.
Like you thrive in it. And in the military, I believe that it helped me out in a lot of ways.
Mm.
But there's also, some challenges that were in there, especially with doing things that did not interest you or you didn't like. Um, that that's really hard, but it it really can be a superpower, so to speak, for people once they learn how to manage it. And I had to do that on my own. And even now, they're saying, they can't pick it apart from other things that are going on to give the diagnosis for me personally, but I'm having the kids evaluated so that they can get that help. Because all the signs
Yeah.
that I've learned now after retiring.
Hmm.
So just want to be able to help them do better.
Yeah, I think that's important to have those pre-diagnoses or just to get checked as we do travel, as we do our, um, like me, I'm in school, as we do our hobbies, whatever it may be. If you can prepare your children and set that foundation for them, they're in a much better space to not only do well and excel in those spaces, but to take care of you so you can rest. And so many parents and grandparents are not resting, and therefore they are scrambling. There's in the struggle space where, like you talk about wealth building, it's not that they don't have or couldn't teach you, and it's not that every grandparent. I know some people have rich grandparents or people that have made great investments, but for the majority of us, our grandparents are unfortunately going to struggle. They're going to pass away and not have anything to leave for anyone. And that's important. That's an unfortunate occurrence. However, we do have people like us who actually want to be in these spaces, who are actively working on bettering ourselves in whatever capacity. When I look at bookings at Tiffany, which y'all can go check the website, bookings at tiffany.com, at tiffany's.com, we will leave later. She talks about military, and that's just a smaller part. How I got started is what I look at, and when I see the bio, I'm looking at it right now, embarking on a journey of launching my business. That's probably the hardest part for people. That they have an idea, they have all these tools, but you don't launch. You're just sitting on a runway. You know,
Hmm.
take off. Like, start something. I don't care, even if it's just writing your notes and reading it to someone and sharing and saying, "How do you feel about this? Would you buy from me? Does this make sense?" Same what you did. You asked your mentor, "Is anyone making money?" "Oh yeah, I got somebody that is. Here's the proof." And I think
Mhm.
where we look at ourselves a lot of times, what the military obviously does, you're set under someone. You don't have those freedoms. You can't even make rank. I guess Army, I guess it's a little bit different in Air Force, but you can't even make rank till until a certain time. It's not like a corporate job where you've done so well this year. You know what? We're gonna promote you, and you're gonna skip 3 or 4 steps. But Air Force is like, say you stop at E7, I stopped at E5. So there was no E6 without testing, without making a higher score than however many other hundreds or thousands of people. And so I feel like on top of wanting or having that freedom, you can set like how hard you work, how the flexibility with your children. I think that's probably more important than the financial part, because you are like, what'd you say about time and money? I was trying to write it down. Hope nobody would think I wasn't paying attention. I think you trading time for money. That is powerful. I don't know where you heard it,
Yeah,
but I'm hearing it for the first time. Trading time for money is very important. That's something I'm gonna really take in for myself.
yeah, because if um if you have to work for every dollar that you earn, you're going to be working for the rest of your life.
Mm, 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 mm.
So everyone, everyone needs to learn about passive and residual incomes and get some.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, I love being able to teach people about that because most people only learn about linear incomes, right? You trade your time, you get money. You want more money, you trade more time. And I want to keep that time freedom to be able to take my kids around and be the soccer mom that they've made me
They
into.
made you. You were forced into that. You signed
I
up.
will not,
You raised your right hand before your children and said, "All right,
I will not get the van.
okay, stand away from the van." Understood. I don't. Hey, don't say, and that's why don't say never. I mean, kids,
I got my SUV. I'm good.
okay, that might, yeah, that works. Put the back seats down.
It's the new age soccer mom vehicle.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, and you hit on. We had some topics or whatever outlined. You actually hit on the first three. Like, you knocked out the transition time. You knocked out. I did want to. You just skip one. Where have you traveled? Whether this be military or post-military, where have you traveled? You're the booking agent. You're the travel person. But where have you been? Because I know for me, I like to. People ask all the time, like, how is Spain? How is Italy? Well, I can tell you about this city because I've been there, but I can't say this part of Spain or this because I haven't been to those places. So, where are places you've been, and then where are probably your top three places that you would recommend people to go?
Ooh, that's good. Wow.
And it could be
The
U.S., it could be out of the country, anywhere, just anywhere outside of the places that the military sent you. As far as like, or you have the TDY here. I'm talking about where you got the family or you were able to take your own vacation.
Yeah. So we did most of our traveling as a family when we were in Spain. So we did go to multiple cities in Spain. I loved Malaga.
Malaga. Okay.
Man, so many different places. I really thought it was cool to go out to, the name escapes me right now,
Oh, it's all good. And people have never
but
been out of this country probably watching this. So you say Spain, and Spain is just like, oh, okay. 'Cause I've been to Barcelona twice, and at the time I was living in the UK, so it was a lot easier to go from England to Spain, or England to Italy, or England to Greece. That it was a lot easier than trying to fly from California or somewhere in the States to those countries. So you were already over there. So I love Europe in general. just for travel. You look, I don't know about other things about Europe, but for traveling purposes, visiting, cool. But that third day, I'm just like, it's time to go back. It's time to go back.
Lagos was beautiful,
Okay.
Portugal.
Okay.
Um, really liked that. Seeing, going out to the Rock of Gibraltar
Would
was
love to go there.
cool.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
And so, yeah, I also like to take landscape and nature pictures. So that was something else that I know that I can tie into this business as well. Um, so just thinking about the pictures that I took out there
Mm.
and my kids holding the monkeys
And they were
and
they
the
were a little
looks
bit
on their
younger.
faces.
Was it
Hmm?
recent or were they a little bit younger?
They're a little bit younger. Yeah. It was closer to the end of our time there. My daughter was middle school aged and my son still in elementary. But um, now my daughter is going to be a senior in high school this year.
Congrats
I'm
to
not
all of you.
ready.
I'm sure, man. Oof. I still got 5
She
years
turns,
before my oldest daughter gets there. So,
oof, yeah, and she turns 18 in October.
mm,
And then she's not done with high school, but
yeah,
she's
she's
18.
18. Yeah,
So that's going to be, I would imagine that that's kind of like a weird transition. Um, and then my son will be a sophomore this year and wanting to try other different things in school. So, my daughter had also done theater. She was a theater kid as well. Um, and trying to navigate that and soccer at the same time for her was quite a challenge. And for me, running back and forth. So I stay on my kids' time and my husband's tied to, of course, his government job and his time. So we don't get to go out and do big trips just yet. I haven't been able to take advantage of that, but I did end up going out to California a couple times, helping my dad and um, two brothers move from California to here in Texas so that we can be close and I can help.
that's great.
And then, oh, so sometimes travel isn't planned,
Sure. Yeah,
right?
I understand that.
Sometimes um, there are emergencies and you just got to be able to go. And if you don't have that time freedom, if you don't have the financial freedom, then that's going to be really hard. And I would never wish that on somebody just to be the reason why they can't go spend time with their family members and their last bit of time before their time expires, right? Um, and then being there with family when they're transitioning in that hard time. So
Tiffany, don't make me
we were
have my
able to do
first
that.
my emotional episode. Don't make this emotional. It's supposed to be a a good, nice conversation, and here we are talking. But that's a real topic. No, that's important. That's important that you address that. Sorry.
Right. And it's not that it's not a sad story because you're able to do it. We were able to do it. We sent my husband out first, and then me and the kids followed when they were out of school for the end of that week because testing and stuff. So we were able to do it. And then, I'm I booked the hotel. So where do those commissions go
Mm, back into
after the
your
trip is done?
yeah.
and it gets processed, then I get to put money back into the family's pocket. So being able to do that, uh, it means the world. And then, seeing other people having to make those hard decisions and being able to say, hey, I have something that can help, whether it's finding the best value because I am not the Dollar Tree or a Walmart of travel,
Sure. You don't
but
have to
I will
sit.
find the best value. I'm
Right.
not going to send you to a Roach Motel because it's the cheapest thing and you save $10.
I would appreciate that. Absolutely. My wife would too. We don't do we don't do motels. It's got to be here, here, or here. Yeah.
Right.
Even if we have to drive further. No, I get it.
And that's the personal touch that you get with a travel agent or a travel advisor. You're not going to get that from booking booking.com or Travelocity. Like you're not going to be able to get that. And try to get a hold of somebody on the phone when something goes wrong. And are they going to really care about what goes on with you? No, they're going to hurry up and rush you off if you ever get a hold of anybody. But with a travel agent and a travel advisor, you have somebody that actually cares and puts the time and effort in for the clients so that they get the best experience that they can possibly get and the best value that they can get. And a lot of times, unless there's like specialties or whatever, the travel agent's getting paid already because there's commissions embedded into every single travel transaction there is. So you're going on different websites and you got all these tabs open to try to save a few dollars. And those fees, those are commissions. So you get
Okay.
subtotal, you get taxes, and you get fees. Those fees go back to that company in which there are several different ones owned by the same people, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that money goes back to that company for the work you were doing. You're paying them for the work you did. That irritated the crap out of me. That is the real scam to me.
I get it. But the thing is, people would rather pay, and I'm guilty of it, pay the company instead of paying a person that you can see. I don't know. I'm not there now. I'm really much more flexible and willing to be like, hey, I'm gonna use this service, or I'm gonna buy something from you directly and just pay $10 or $25 instead of paying $28.99 plus tax when you giving me a product with that's gonna come directly to my door, or I can get right then instead of waiting 2, 3, 4 days for shipping. So,
But with this, like I'm getting paid my commission from the company.
by
So
the
those
company,
fees go to me
right?
instead of going to that company.
Mm,
So you're not paying extra for my services. I'm
gotcha.
already getting paid.
It's got to be explained. It's not that
Yeah,
it's just people
people
just
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah, no, that's important. That's why
And
I feel like this is an important conversation.
right. And then with who I'm tied to in the business and the host, they are the originators of home based or anywhere based because I can do it anywhere that has Wi-Fi or data on the
Mm,
phone, right? Um, home based businesses. So really that is the catalyst for booking and for all of those apps and websites for them to get started because this company started at home or anywhere based business concept, right? They're the originators, so they know what's up. They know all the different challenges. They've gone through all of the different issues and they've made adjustments. And man, I've never seen it before. I've never seen it where a company is so confident that they have a unique profit guarantee for your first year. So if you don't make or save as much as you put into your business and you've actually been in pursuit of a profit, like, by IRS definitions, you've actually tried to make a profit from it, not just sitting there being the secret agent, but, but they'll evaluate and they will cut you a check. People don't even use those anymore, but they will pay you the difference and you don't have to quit. You continue on, lessons learned for the next year.
Okay. Yeah, and that's uh, just a like transition to that part where kind of we talked about not understanding or not knowing when it comes to support, like family support or friend support, how you find um, the population, your audience, your clients. How do you go about, or how have you gone about finding these people, and then, or second part of that is where's the most support coming from?
Hmm. So my clientele or my customers, of course, you're gonna want to tell your family and your friends, hey, I started a business,
Right.
right? So let them know and tell them about how I get paid and that they're not paying me any extra, that I can get the same deals, I can price match, guarantee I am a viable option for them. Also telling them before I start taking their commissions, telling them what their opportunities are as well, so that my conscience is clear because it feels very weird to me to get commissions helping friends and family out and then you don't tell them,
Yeah.
like you don't tell them so that they have their own knowledge and
But that's because
it
you care,
just
Tiffany. You actually care about people. Many of these people, not saying they're scammers, but they don't have that compassion. They're like, well, thanks for I'm gonna start this GoFundMe or start this link, and I'm just gonna take the money and you know, yeah, I have it for this thing, but I'm actually gonna use it for this. Thanks for supporting my trip, or getting me paying a bill, even though that's not what I put it up here for. But anyway,
right. And then there's always like on social media, I've had people reach out asking different questions about what I'm doing. So, of course, talk to them, show them what I'm doing, and um, they either make a decision for themselves or we work together on a booking. And it it has expanded, obviously, my network. And it's really humbling to know that people would put their trust in me. I mean, you see it in the military and it's kind of built into the rank structure as long as you're being respectful of people. You've had some crazy leaders,
oh yeah, leaders,
bosses,
right?
managers,
Yeah,
and then you've had some really good leaders. And I had always tried to be transparent. I was always caring. You take care of the people and the people take care of the mission. And that kind of translates into what I do now in helping other people with their businesses. And it is so rewarding to see people realize, like, wow, I have so many options with this. I can do so much with this. And, being able to do it how you want to and not So there's no quota. There's nobody breathing down your neck. There's nobody telling you, hey, you didn't do this training. You didn't,
A
why
deadline.
haven't you gotten, there's, there's none of that. Now you have us, if you tell us your goals and everything, we're going to push you to try to get towards your goals and be like, hey, I thought you said you wanted to do this. What's going on? But other than that, like,
It's more
there's nobody
motivational than
forcing you.
dictating, how you go about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where most of my support ends up coming from, is from my mentors in the business. Um, my dad is really supportive, talks everybody he talks to, the Uber drivers,
Right.
the tech
Thinking about a
at
trip?
the
Go see
VA.
my daughter.
Do you travel?
Yeah. At all?
My daughter does this. Here's a card.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
So he is a great supporter, and always talking about it and about me doing it, which I love him for. But as far as pushing in the business realm, it's the senior business partners that are my biggest support in helping me get to my goals, helping me to help other people. And just, it's such a simple concept. You're just duplicating and you're just helping people. And
So simple.
it sounds so simple, but you have people that they're perfectly fine with just being comfortable, or they are married to their struggles. Yes, tell me about that. Look,
Mm. I can name several family members that would probably block my show if I brought that up to them. But it's all good. I appreciate this wisdom.
you're writing that down.
But absolutely, that's where this concept came from. It came from writing things down, and this wasn't just a thing. I didn't say, "Oh, I want to start a podcast today." I actually have a vision and a goal, and I didn't meet the timelines that I wanted to, and I don't have a number. It's not like, "Oh, I need to get 1,000 followers or this many views," but it's actually just being able to articulate my words, have a topic, or have a outline or some form of direction, and then put it out there. And I've done that. You've obviously done that. You've retired from your career field, and I don't think people understand how difficult it is to complete a 20-year career. First of all, to live to be, to age to be able to complete it, because you got your whole childhood, whatever you've been through in that, going to this military where you have deployments and TDYs, marriages, families, people telling you you're not going to do something, you're failing at tests, you got training, and then you at the end of it, which I haven't got to experience it, but my wife is actually active duty, and she's about 5 years from 20, even though she's going to do more. But I'm seeing how difficult it and the toll is taking on her.
Hmm.
So and then also to take a year off and then jump back into a whole nother business where it's work, but like you said, you need to have those type of freedoms. I don't think you would have been happy going into the GS system, and being on a clock like that. So I appreciate you finding out what makes you happy and having the support behind you. That's probably one of the largest benefits of it, having that support system.
Yeah. And it's really hard when you get out, because a lot of veterans struggle with trying to figure out their purpose when they get out. You've been doing, especially like me, I did it since I was 18 and did it for 20 years.
Yeah,
That's like, I grew up with it.
yeah, absolutely.
And not just from being the military brat, but like, you do a lot of growing as an adult as well, especially being forced into those those different situations that the everyday civilian doesn't experience. Like you said, deploying, as a mom, missing a lot of firsts. I miss my son's first day of school for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade.
My.
Yeah, it just, I missed so much. I didn't want to miss anything else. I didn't want somebody to tell me I couldn't take off early to go to my son's game or watch my daughters play or whatever other club they may want to do. My daughter is member of the National Honor Society, and
Yes,
they
big
have
applause.
volunteer things,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of transitioning that they do as teenagers. It's really hard because they're trying to find their own way and find their own autonomy.
Hmm.
And if we are working and we're not there to help guide them, who's guiding them?
YouTube. I mean,
Not just no, like
other people.
Discord.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the scary part.
Mm,
Discord.
mm. Just random
Oh
people,
no.
man.
Discord and the people yelling on video games like Valorant or um but if you're not there to show them, they have a lot of big emotions that they don't understand. And I've always been an advocate of making sure we call it manage emotions, but they are supposed to stop, acknowledge that they're feeling some kind of way, figure out what they're feeling, figure out why they're feeling it, and what they can do in the future.
And you said you were
And
not trying to go into therapy. Is this something that you're trying to fight and trying to avoid? Because I mean, it's still time. 4 years,
yeah,
5 years, you can have your bachelor's and master's. So just saying. Well, not probably less than that. I'm sure you have college credits from the military. So
I
go
do.
straight through. I mean, within 3 to 4 years. So I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not, not recruiting. So, but no, I know time is, people's attention span. I always say that. So I'm gonna wrap this up. But before I do, I just want to thank you for coming on. So we did mention the military. I know recently, whenever you see this, we just had a national attack on a country, and I just want to send my prayers out, which I prayed already, but I just want to send this message out, for all of those who are experiencing not only loss, but understand knowing someone in the military at any point, whether they're Army, whatever branch they're in, Army, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, Navy, pray for them, please. Like you never know what's going to change, what's going to happen in life. But like what Tiffany mentioned, please be prepared. Be as prepared as possible. Don't. I know I'm not saying that today don't spend all of your money, but save a dollar. It's literally save a dollar a day. Even that's taking some money out and putting it somewhere so you can have it for something else. Because even if you have $500, that's $500 more than what somebody else has. I mean, just having that nest egg or a way to get it, maxing out credit cards, all that stuff that I know I did growing up, getting loan after loan and spending all this time trying to pay it back. The point is just ensure that you are being as safe as possible out there and trying to protect your assets, protect your mental space, so you have the of those freedoms that you long for. That I feel like we all long for at some point. And if you have kids, definitely, they see everything, they hear everything. When you're struggling, they're gonna see it, they're gonna feel it, and they may not even want to express it to you because they don't want you feeling bad. They don't want you feeling worse. So if you can find your space and you can be better parents too. So I'm a father of three, and I just want you, Tiffany, to continue doing everything you've been doing. It's an amazing work. Like I said, I know it's more than just booking trips. Like even in this session, I've dropped so many gems on me that I could use going forward. So that wisdom, man, keep it up, keep going, and I encourage you to continue growing your business. And hopefully, whoever sees this, it'll help out and grow your market even further. So if you want to share. little, where people can find you, where they can book you. Floor is yours.
The easiest way is because all of my socials, my email, and everything is tied to it, is to go to my website, which is bookings@tiffany's.com. So kind of a little play on the words there. So
Gotcha.
hopefully it's memorable. But bookings with an S at Tiffany's with an S.com. So I hope to see you. And for you, I wish you the best in growing and just keep pushing and remembering that it's progress over perfection, right?
Got it.
So,
Checklist, checklist, checklist. And as we close out, everyone out there wanting to start their own podcast, business, clothing line, it just starts with you. It starts with you not only knowing what you're capable of, like I said, not being perfect, but knowing what you're capable of, and letting people know. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be via social media or whatever, but just letting people know that, hey, I want to do something. Collaborate with someone. You don't have to do it all on your own. Like Tiffany mentioned earlier, if you watched that part of it, she didn't just jump out in the game. She asked questions. She went to other people. She made her way through other sources, and that's all I want. Collaboration, and we grow together in whatever genre, whatever space we're in. So I definitely will continue to keep that in mind. I appreciate you coming on. And this is the Doe Spot. It's Jay Wandoe, Tiffany Morrison. Thank y'all for watching, and hopefully we will see y'all soon. I do a part two, because that part that we'll talk about it another time, but we definitely got to run this back. So hopefully we can make that happen soon.
yes.
Awesome. Peace and love, y'all.